Hey everybody, welcome to once again another Fwoosh video review. This time we're going to be looking at the new Star Wars Force Awakens Black Series Guavian Enforcer. I'm assuming that's how his name is pronounced, Guavian. I don't know how else you would say that. I'm trying to go into this movie like in full blackout mode, so even like knowing that characters exist like this is kind of sketchy territory for me. So, man, I'm trying to avoid any and all information about anything, but I can't resist picking up a new figure here and there, and so here I am with what I'm assuming is called a Guavian Enforcer. What that entails, what that means, who this character is, I have no idea, and that's how I want to keep it until the movie opens. But he is kind of a cool looking character and figure. So packaging, of course, is standard Force Awakens Black Series packaging. Looks pretty cool, very simple, smaller box than what we were getting in the older Black Series figures, and I like that. Oh, and I just noticed that along the side here, it kind of says Guavian. I never noticed that. I don't know if any of the other figures from the first wave have that same kind of effect going. I'm going to assume they do, but this is the first time I've noticed that. So, yeah, go me. Now, on the back, the little bit of detail that we do get about the character, it just reads, "The security soldiers of the Guavian gang wore high-impact armor," let's start that again. I'm getting over a cold. "The security soldiers of the Guavian gang wear high-impact armor that makes them stand out among other deadly criminals." Okay, so we're getting a little bit of information there. Thankfully, not that much. So I'm going to get this guy open, and we're going to take a look at the figure and see what the Guavian Enforcer is all about. Sit tight. The Guavian Enforcer out of his packaging, and man, this figure is just problematic for me, but I guess that's par for the course with the Star Wars Black Series. Mostly his articulation bothers me, but we'll get to that in a second. First of all, his design, though, let's just concentrate on that. There's a nice, let's get a close-up of his face here. I mean, he's got a very techie kind of looking face. It looks like there's like a slash through it, right through that red optic thing, if that's what that's supposed to be. Again, like, I don't know much about this character in terms of background or story or whatever, because I'm trying to stay in the dark as much as I possibly can with the movie before it opens. So I don't know what this guy's deal is. I mean, he may even be an army builder for all I know. I have no idea. But, I mean, he looks kind of cool. There's a lot of detail. It's a really good sculpt. There's a nice paint wash over what looks like red leather of his uniform. I mean, he's a really, like, handsome looking figure, like he really is, but it's just, he's just missing, he just doesn't feel quote-unquote Star Wars to me. Like, Star Wars always has this nice balance between like antique and modern, I guess, and he's just hitting the modern, not so much the antique. But here he is with a couple other Black Series figures, so you can get a sense of scale. There's the Force Awakens Stormtrooper and Captain Phasma. So he's about on par with the Stormtrooper. And I keep saying he. I mean, I'm assuming it's a he. We have no indication as to gender here. So I have no idea. I'm just making assumptions. So please bear with me. Comes with two weapons. His hands are molded to fit each weapon specifically, more or less. Like, the right hand has like a trigger finger, and this little Tommy gun looking thing is really only going to fit in that hand. And he's got a trigger finger that kind of slips in there easily. And then this one is just, whoops, more of a standard kind of open fist. And then that gun just plugs right in there. It works pretty well. And there he is with his two guns. Yippee-ki-yay. He's got some rubbery joints, which I'm kind of struggling with at the moment. Knee joints are crazy rubbery. I mean, look at that. That's just all just rubbery, bendy. So that can make him difficult to stand some points. He's taken some dives for me already, which has been nothing but aggravating. But general articulation, I mean, these shoulder pads here that he has, this shoulder thing, this is really glued in place. It's not going anywhere, and it does get in the way of his shoulder range of motion a little bit. I mean, you can get around it, but it's not perfect. He's got the standard kind of Hasbro, quote-unquote, elbow. But, you know, decent range of motion there, too. head is on a ball joint, really good range of motion in the head. You can get some expressive poses out of the head. His waist has a swivel, but not much of an ab crunch, hardly anything at all. What's really bothering me are the hips. The harness here is a soft plastic, and so it doesn't hinder anything, and it looks like you could probably take it off here in the back, but I'm not going to do that just in case I can't get it back on. But his hips hardly have any range of motion at all, and it's the sculpt that's hindering it. So that's all you get out of his hips here, and they go outward a little bit, but again, he's not doing any splits. And he's got a thigh cut, but mine are frozen in place. They are not moving. So not a lot of articulation there. He has double knees for some reason, but you can't really do anything with them since you can't really do much with his hips. So that's kind of frustrating, and the joint's crazy gummy. And then standard Hasbro ankle articulation. So I'm really on the fence in terms of how I feel about this figure. I picked him up on impulse. I was really only going to pick up Captain Phasma from Wave 2, but when I saw the whole wave on the shelf, I caved and grabbed the Guavian Enforcer as well. I mean, if you're only going to grab one figure from Wave 2, Captain Phasma is the figure to grab, for sure. But, man, I'm really kind of up in the air in terms of how I feel about this guy. Again, he doesn't really feel quote-unquote Star Wars to me. He's missing that Star Wars kind of vibe, I guess, for lack of a better word. Please don't hold that against me. Yeah, I know I used the word vibe, but it's not really hitting all the bases for me. Again, he just looks like some random video game drone bad guy thing. But, you know, I don't know. So I'm really up in the air about how I feel about him. Cool looking figure, interesting looking figure. I think I might just stick him with my bounty hunters for now on my Star Wars shelf. He might like blend in well with like IG-88 and Bosk and Boba Fett. I don't know what else to do with him at the moment, so that's where he's going to go. I really thought I'd like him more than I do. I don't dislike him, but I guess I have no strong emotions one way or the other at this point. I guess I'll have to wait until I see the movie, and maybe that'll like change my mind here. But until then, you know, I picked him up. I don't regret it, but I'm not like, I could have definitely lived without picking him up, at least at this point. So, yeah, that is the Guavian Enforcer. So please let us know what you think about this figure. Leave a comment below or on our message boards or on Facebook or Twitter or any of the good old places. And as always, thank you for checking us out here on The Foosh, and we will see you again real soon.